your boy Supreme Boy Eli. I'm here with y'all for another reaction, you feel me? Today we gonna be reacting to Chicago street gangs. Mid-80s, you feel me? This 80s Chicago street gangs, you feel me? I don't really know too much. Feel me? You gonna catch a fresh reaction. Me, Eli Crew, y'all catch a fresh reaction with me. Shit, let's talking. Let's get straight into the video, man. Make sure to comment, like, subscribe. And without further ado, let's get into this video. Hey, let's go, man.
Warlord, Vice President, you got your pawns, your foot soldiers, just like United States, you got...
The organizational and leadership structure of a gang varies depending upon its size and activity. Gordon McLean, founder and director of Youth Guidance, a program of Youth for Christ International, has been studying gangs and working with youth within the criminal justice system for over 25 years. He has made a number of observations about the different ways gangs are organized.
You have, for example, a tightly knit organized group like the Arukans, who operate out of their temple on South Drexel in Chicago. They have been linked by the federal authorities and the Chicago police to extensive drug selling operations, and their commanding general is currently in a federal prison. They are very tightly organized with district supervisors and territories and operations in a really structured format. However, many of the other gangs are much more casual and loose without any identifiable leadership. In fact, for example, one of the larger gangs in the city are the Latin Kings, and they have all sorts of chapters because everybody wants to lead his own little group.
On the other hand, the Vice Lords, another large gang, is divided into major branches. The Vice Lords currently have approximately 16 branches, representing all parts of the city. Some of the branches, such as the City Lords, have been in existence since the formation of the Vice Lords in Wandale in 1958. Smaller gangs, those occupying one or two neighborhoods, are broken down into sections, often named after the streets where they are located. Within a section, gang members relate to each other in a well-defined hierarchy.
The Lord takes care of violations, Vice President takes care of things in case I got to go out of the city, or unfortunately I get locked up for something, dumb or something like that, There's always somebody to take care of. You got your certain position.
In addition, there are divisions within a gang between age groups.
So there's peewees, young, juniors, and seniors. They all go by ages. Peewees are from 8, I guess, all the way to 16, and young are from 17 all the way to 18. Then comes juniors and seniors. I don't know about that because I never got that far.
1 year?
I'm still in the young position,
17,
as you can see.
In the past, gangs were independent of each other, and some neighborhoods, such as Humboldt Park and Pilsen, were sliced up by dozens of small gangs, each fighting for the sovereignty of their own turf. A few years ago, however, two major alliances were drawn up. Jailed leaders of the major gangs in Chicago found that they could defend themselves more effectively if they allied themselves with other gangs. The two alliances became known as the People and the Folks. Although the new configuration made for some strange bedfellows, it wasn't long before most of Chicago's gangs had lined up behind one or the other associations.
The gang alliances are a very unusual picture in the Chicago area. They are not basically racial. It is not a black versus Hispanic versus white situation, for example. And really what divides them is the 6-point star of the folks and the 5-point star of the people. The one folding their right arm over their left, the other way around, one tilting their hat to the right, the other to the left. And it's really over something that simple that most of the jealousy and rivalry and territorial war goes on.
To the left, man.
We ride
So y'all
the
team, y'all going to
gangsters,
these, man. Where y'all
Cobras,
straight, man?
with the wild Cobras,
Bro,
and the Spanish Cobras.
he said it's simply, they simply
And
doing
the opposition,
it's doing the
Kings, Vice
holding the rope
Lords,
on.
Counts, bishops, anything that has to do with people.
Hey, we can't stand disciples. We disciple killers right here.
why?
I don't know. We don't like them. They're folks. We peoples right here.
What did they do to you?
I don't know. We don't get along together.
You know why you don't get along?
Nah, because we're almighty. They're folks.
Well, the gang problem right now in Chicago has been a serious
They say
problem.
we all
and
mighty.
is from the standpoint of the violence that is within the gang structure presently as compared to what it was years ago.
I think it's more dangerous. I think it's gotten worse. It hasn't improved. Although
the basic. There aren't that many basic differences from when I was a kid. The only difference I see is now that gangs are using guns much more, and they're committing much more violent crimes.
I know they're responsible for more serious violence, and I think this is because they probably have better weaponry.
The most alarming factor about street gangs in the 80s is their level of violence. Gang-related murders have grown steadily since the mid-70s, and in 1984 they topped out at 98 deaths. The victims have been rival gang members as well as innocent bystanders. 10-year-old Bobby Hughes was killed while playing on the sidewalk in a near-north neighborhood. A carload of gang members drove up and opened fire with automatic weapons and a shotgun into a crowd they thought was an opposing gang.
Gang activity is sporadic and spontaneous. Where you have no gang problem today, tomorrow you do have. Where there is one today, the following day you do not have one. But the traditional areas at the present time that have existed for a long time are the Humboldt Park area, the Pilsen area, the Cabrini Green Housing Project, the Robert Taylor, and the Henry Horner Homes Project are at the present time our primary concerns.
These 5 areas, Humboldt Park, Pilsen, and the Cabrini Green, Robert Taylor, and Henry Horner housing projects, contain the highest concentration of gang activity and rate among the highest crime districts in the city. In Humboldt Park, gang turf is laid out like an ornate quilt. If you travel more than 2 or 3 blocks in any direction, you're liable to cross a gang boundary. Here, the maniac Latin disciples and the Spanish Cobras stare across North Avenue at the Latin Kings and the Gaylords, and their gang emblems defiantly shout their alliances from neighborhood buildings.
Actually, Humboldt Park has been referred to as part of the most dangerous community in the entire country. And you take a look at, even from our facility here, you'll find at least 9 wild gangs with well-defined territory and turf within just several blocks of our facility.
Bill Dillon is Executive Director of Inner City Impact, a youth organization set up right in the middle of Humboldt Park.
Last year, I've heard figures as many as 23 people being killed just in this community alone as far as gangs are concerned.
The Humboldt Park area of the city of Chicago is always right up there in our statistics. It's right up there in the amount of serious shootings, the amount of gang activity that is, in fact, takes place every night. So therefore you have what we call paybacks coming back, where a rival gang has shot another gang member maybe a year ago, and they'll often come back to retaliate.
Humboldt Park has been ravaged by violence, and nearly everyone has a story to tell about a family member or friend who has been caught at the wrong end of a gun. Yet the neighbors in this mostly Hispanic community are not alone. Gang violence has touched every neighborhood in Chicago. There are over 110 gangs in the city, with membership ranging from 10 to 10,000. Commander Ed Plinus of the Gang Crimes Unit of the Chicago Police Department has divided these gangs into 3 major types: the traditional youth-oriented gang, the group of sophisticated criminals who band together under the facade of a gang, and thirdly,
a combination of the two, and in my opinion, the most serious type of gang that we have. That's where an experienced criminal joins a youth-orientated gang and leads them into areas of criminal activity they probably would not engage in if left to themselves.
You have many young kids who may wear the same kind of clothes, they use some kind of signs, they meet, they hang together, but they may not be constantly involved in criminal activity. So I wouldn't call those types of youngsters a street gang. But if you have that last element where crimes are the end of the group, I think that you have a street gang.
Although precise definitions vary, nearly everyone who works with gangs agrees that where there is serious organized crime involved, there are serious criminals involved.
Many of the groups are really what you'd call social kind of a groups, which get together simply for partying, hanging around together. That is probably a more innocent view of them. On the other extreme are the really tightly organized gangs that deal in drugs and are often manipulated by older people from prisons who do that job for them, and also in burglaries and extortion and robberies. When you see a wide operation of kids in crime on the streets, know that there are adults behind them who are manipulating from them and profiting from them, either in the selling of drugs or in the fencing of stolen goods. as an adult there.
How you know it's an adult? Manipulating them and profiting from them. Like, what? Now you just go, there's an adult. Or somebody in jail. Manipulating and processing, profiting from them. Making them do this. What?
I guess.
That's crazy. But I would say the circumstance.
Make a lot of friends. Get popular. And I don't know, you get guns, get your weapons, knives, whatever you need, they help you. But they help you to a limit, of course. You know, they don't bond you out like a Yuri or something like that. They just do what they could do. Streetwise, that is.
Although in some cases gang membership can be explained by the lucrative narcotics market, that's not the only drawing card. For many city youth, gang membership is a natural rite of passage that comes with the territory. When we return, we'll take an in-depth look into the reasons why young men join gangs.
That's the end of the video. Let me know what y'all think. How y'all feel, bro? I feel like they can't, like, how they gonna say this person all the way in jail profiting off of this shorty doing work? You feel me? Leave a comment, drop down below if y'all heard some of them gangs. You feel me? I don't really know. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. If y'all messing with the reactions, let me know. And without further ado, we out, Eli Crew. Hey.